Welcome back to On the Sofa with Hayley. I am still joined by the one and only Michael Absalom.
Hi, we're off the sofa. You need to change the name of
I know.
the show.
I can't help it now. It's
Yeah.
just like rolling off the tongue.
Hayley Palmer off the sofa.
Yeah, we are. And actually, we are living the dream.
I'm glad we are on a day like today. It's a nice autumn day. We've got a lovely backdrop of London behind us.
Which is all good.
That's one of my favourite buildings. I'm not sure if your viewers can see it, but St Paul's Cathedral.
Yes.
That's one of my favourites.
Yes. Oh, we're going to please, so
yeah.
that's good.
It's quite fun walking around the streets, checking out London. Anyway, there
Yes,
we go.
South Bank's actually my favourite bit.
It
But
is
anyway,
my favourite
yes,
walk,
yes.
from Waterloo Bridge all
Yes.
the way up to Tower
Love
Bridge.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk more to you
Yeah.
about your play because I'm pretty impressed here. Not only have you written this, you are performing it by yourself. How did this all come about, first of all?
I think it sort of came from frustration, actually. I was sort of frustrated with where I was. I love my job as a presenter and a sports commentator, but I've always had this thirst to act. And
Right.
I thought the best way to showcase that, rather than just going to commercial castings like the Colgate one, for example, that we
Yeah.
talked about earlier.
So you're a trained actor. Did you train at theatre school? or-
No, not officially. So I didn't go off and do one of those 1 year, 2 year or 3 year courses, but I studied theatre studies A-level at school. I always had sort of a thirst and a hunger for being on stage, massive attention seeker like we all are.
School play?
Yeah, school play.
Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah, we did The Tempest. I got to play Ferdinand, which was Shakespeare, so that was quite hard to learn all those words. But I loved it and always have done. And elements of that when I was at CBBC, you were doing sketches and what we thought at the time were funny little comedy skits, and I guess I've just always had that. There's something inside, like something burning inside that I wasn't quite fully satisfied, and this was a great opportunity to showcase what I could do on the stage.
Right, okay. So the actual play itself, what exactly is it about? I've seen a few little bits,
Yeah.
but just give us a bit more info.
Well, it's a semi-autobiographical piece where a 40-year-old man is having a major midlife crisis and he doesn't know what to do next with his life. He doesn't really know his purpose. He's looking for validation. And we starts off really in this sports commentator arena, and that theme follows throughout. But he's thinking about this career change. Should he sack off the sports commentary to become an actor? And then the risks that come with that, the fears, the doubts, the anxiety, taking a huge punt on an area where he's not as qualified. He knows he's not as good as some of the other talent out there, yet he still wants to make a name for himself. So it's that confrontation, that inner fight that takes place, hence the name Absalom versus Absalom, because ultimately it's about that fight against yourself.
Yeah, and I think that is so true, and I think everyone can relate to it, because I know myself, like, you just have days where you go, oh my goodness, like, how am I even getting through this? But then you have days where everything's working out and it's great, but it's those days when it's not working out that you have to listen to that inner voice and keep the positivity.
Or not, because sometimes the inner voice can be a negative inner voice. So you yourself might be an eternal optimist, but then you might have this moaning Minnie on your shoulder that's just chirping away at you, telling you that you're not good enough and that you're going to fail. And that's what Absalom's gremlin has. He has that demon on his shoulder that tells him he's not good enough, but he's like, I think I am. I've got a track record of things on my CV that say I'm good enough. Why can't? And anything is possible, anything is achievable. And I guess so it is that just battle, that constant battle that you're having, yin and yang, dark versus light.
Yeah, and I think that is true in any job. I mean, particularly with performing arts, but in any job, I think there is constantly that battle, isn't there?
And I think there's lots of people stuck in jobs where they don't really want to be doing a job. They go to their 9 to 5, they do it because it's essential. They've got families, they have to work hard, they have to put bread on the table, but they're not necessarily doing what they really want to do. So I guess the message of the show and the moral of the show is just to follow your dreams and follow your heart again.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I can remember I was in the office job
Yeah.
for 1 month only, worst month of my life,
Yeah.
and just thought, how am I ever going to make it happen?
But it feels quite claustrophobic, doesn't it? You feel like you're trapped, but that's a pressure that we put on ourselves. And I think what's quite liberating about the play is the character is trapped in this life, and he's trying to think of all these ways to get out. You mentioned sort of all the mindfulness stuff as well. There's various techniques he tries to use to battle his demon, but it's quite exciting as well because I get to bring in the sports commentator side of things as well. So it's narrated by this sports commentator character who is constantly setting up the fight, and it pinballs around the headspace of our protagonist, and it's really very exciting to play because I sort of get to morph from one character to another. and go off on various different random tangents, which anyone who knows me is basically me just being me.
But that is such a skill to not have any other actors to bounce off.
Yeah, I mean, they're in here.
Right.
I think there's a cast of 7, and from sports commentators to presenters to that battle of good versus evil, they're all lodged in there somewhere, which I think again we all have.
Yeah.
And I've always had this overactive imagination. I've always had the thirst to entertain and to perform, and I guess this year I just wanted to find out before I was 40. I'm 40 in April. This was it. I had one last chance. Yeah, 40 in April. I can't believe it. I remember being 18, 15 and having these dreams of, but why has it taken me so long? And I'm almost 40, and so I put the pressure on myself. If I don't do it this year, it's never going to happen. It's now or never. Fight or flight, throw in the towel, give up, or just face your demon head on.
Love this. And how do we go about seeing this?
Well, it's on at the Hen and Chickens Theatre in Highbury and Islington, so it's on the Victoria line if any of your viewers are living in London, so it's fairly easy to get to. It's a pub theatre, so it only seats 50 people. It's a really intimate space. Yeah. And so I think my friends are going to be coming along, my family are coming along, and I guess it's really for anyone that feels like they're stuck. I think it's funny, it's dark, it's humorous, but it should be a laugh. I don't know. Well, it's a terrifying experience, but I'm not allowed to say that I'm scared. I have to be saying I'm excited, because I think, again, it's a mindset thing, isn't it? If you're excited about something, you're looking forward to it. If you're nervous and scared, then that gremlin is just...
Good job it's in a pub, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone will just get lashed downstairs, and then they'll come up and see the funny side of the dark humour that I think is in there. But you don't know till it's tried out in front of an audience. It's very experimental, and... I'm just sort of excited to get it on its feet. We've got 2 weeks to go until the show. So show date's 24th to the 28th of September. Venue is the Hen and Chickens, which is this lovely pub theatre. And anyone's welcome. We'd just love to get people down and get some bums on the seats.
Yeah, we are so there. And I've got to say, do you have any rituals before you go on stage? Because I've talked to actors before and they're like, oh yeah, we have to do this and that before we go on stage.
Yeah.
What's the Michael Absalom way?
I think for me it's about calming down, so I'm very hyperactive as it is, and you see that within the show. I'm sure I've got strains of ADHD and OCD sort of ingrained in my just natural behaviour and my day-to-day pattern and routine. So for me, it's about just sort of taking a deep breath, calming down, and you talked about it earlier, things like meditation. Just put some music on, concentrate on your breathing. Try not to let the nerves and the anxiety overwhelm you, and that's the real test here. Will they or won't they? And we won't find out till the end of the show.
I love that. And I can't eat before I go on stage. I'm like afterwards, Mackie D's, but beforehand I'm just like, oh, can't eat, can't do anything.
I wonder why that is. I mean, it's butterflies in the stomach, isn't it? And anyone from any job where you've got to stand up and give a speech, put me in front of 20,000 people, I can talk on stage and I can talk rubbish with a microphone in my hand. I can do that, but this is very exposing. Within acting, there's a sense of vulnerability. You don't really want to show your character's true colours, but if the tale's sort of going to take its story arc and get to where you want to get to as the character, you have to show your vulnerability. That's what the audience want to see. That's what they're investing in. Unless they see it, then they've wasted their money.
Oh, we are so looking forward to this. And what comes after the play? Holiday?
I think a holiday. Yeah, I've been working on this for about a year. I wrote it in a hotel room in India when I was commentating on a sport called Kabaddi, which is an amazing Indian sport. Just Google it, Kabaddi, Kabaddi. You have to hold your breath when it's your go and go Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi. I haven't got enough time to explain it to you now, but it's basically like a big game of British Bulldog. But I was writing the play there, and so it's been a year cycle, and it's just about to finish up with the performance. I'm so glad we've got it to where it is. Lots of friends helping out, family chipping in, lots of people advising me on what to do. So yeah, a well-earned break. I was thinking maybe Ibiza at the end.
Oh. Not rave it up and Ibiza.
Not like Ibiza. Not that side. The more calm, relaxed side.
Okay, got you.
Maybe some yoga again, and Yeah, I think some well-deserved time off. I kind of feel like I've missed summer, but again, we're lucky with the weather we've got today. It feels like summer's still here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm wishing you the best of luck, Michael Absalom.
You're going to come along. I think you said
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm stay there.
Great.
I'm sold now.
I'll drag a few friends. I'll try not to scare you.
I will.
And there's a big secret to be revealed at the end of the show.
So quick challenge for you, Abs.
Okay.
I know you're an ex-children's TV presenter,
That's right.
so we'd like to keep it in style.
Yeah, best of friends, you suck.
Oh yeah.
Blue
So,
tie.
Abs, favourite things. Favourite TV programme, go.
At the moment, Suits. I've only just got into it. I'm a bit of a late developer. Slow. But the Suits, yeah.
Okay, got it. Fave holiday destination.
Greece, Kefalonia. Really nice, beautiful turquoise sea.
Favourite party trick.
I used to be able to burp the alphabet, so I used to be able to go all the
Wow.
way through. Sometimes you need sort of a fizzy drink to get going.
Oh, well, Michael Absalom, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much,
Thank
and
you.
we will see you soon.